Hello, welcome to Get Projects Done. Tonight, I'm working on some Ambot, some Necromunda robot action. I've got them all in sub-assemblies here. And basically what I had done was airbrushed a large proportion of them. I have two of them on the go. I'm a little hard-pressed to figure out which way I want to go with them. As far as, you know, how I really want to go. I got to fix just that. And tonight I'm joined by Hail Boop, the Snoop. Just a focus. No, not it's the game. All right there. Is that better?
There we go.
It's a little bit better. I don't know. Where am I going to be painting here?
Yellow.
Yeah, I did one. Because I don't know if you recall, we were talking about this on Discord like a long time ago. And I wanted to I wanted to do the Ambots, like industrial equipment, right? So.
Oh yeah, with the chevrons and stuff.
Yeah. So this one here, I'm doing it kind of like like a cat, if you're ever familiar with the heavy equipment like cat,
Yeah.
So there'll be a lot of like yellow and little black accents here and there, and hazard lines, I'm sure, and plenty of dirt and grime and everything like that. But I also did the other Ambot in a different color because reasons.
If you were to
So I did.
saturate that yellow a little bit more, it would go from cat yellow to Tonka yellow.
Well, maybe I will. But I did this one here. Coma had suggested. I can't remember what the company name is, but they do this really like almost teal aqua blue kind of color. And so I thought like chevrons and the orange white would look really cool.
Ooh.
Yeah. Of course, they're all going to get all dinged up and rustified and all that. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on tonight. I'm going to get some painting done because these things have been sitting on my shelf for a while. And just trying to think of which way I want to get started here. I suppose I should probably just start laying down the metal. Start picking out the areas.
I like the orange and white caution stripes more than the yellow and black.
Well, I'm going to do both.
That idea. No, I know you're doing both, but I think I'm going to like the blue one more.
Well, we're not taking votes here, man.
I know. I'm just stating.
What's happening, Aaron? And what's happening, Scott?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What was I doing? Oh, I was getting metal. That's what I was doing.
No, I'm just biased, Chris, because all the machines at my new job are orange with the orange the orange and white caution stripes instead of black and yellow.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Grab something to work on. I don't know if I should finish the Beastman Giant, but then I could start on the Blood Angel stuff right now.
The Beastman.
Yeah, I'll look at that beer back.
And how's Scott tonight?
All right. No.
Doing any painting, or are you just chilling out?
Yeah, I'm working on some heresy dudes for a game.
Heresy?
Yeah, heresy, the miniature company, not a game. Out of the UK.
Here. Keep this. Like that. lots of light. There we go. Lots of light. And we'll start with some legs. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of lead belcher. I'm not going to be doing, I don't think, anything too fancy to these guys to get the ball rolling. Okay, you know what? Maybe I will do something fancy. I think I'm going to add some black to this. Yeah, I think I'm going to add some black. Just because I don't feel like working too hard at building up shadows and stuff. Yeah, we're going to add black to this.
I also am slowly catching up on pulp culture or whatever.
Pop culture.
I finished the first season of Mandalorian because like I better get done the season 2 before season 3 comes out because then Chris is going to tell me everything that happened in season 2.
And what'd you think of it?
I like that.
It's a fun show. I mean, it's not, you know.
I did it bad. I left my glue open. Good thing it's Tammy and it didn't dry out.
Jeez. The show, I mean, like, you know, it's Star Wars. It's not like, you know, it's not Shakespeare or anything like that.
No, but I wanted to get on it before. You know, some of the little twists were still there for me.
Yeah.
So now I am taking a break because I finished the last episode of the season yesterday. I'm taking a break today, and I'm going to start season 2 tomorrow. And I'll be all caught up.
Yeah, it's a fun show. I enjoy Mandalorian.
I grabbed the sprue, and I forgot to grab the giant.
I started watching Chernobyl with the on the weekend.
Oh, you just started that one?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. That one was good.
For whatever reason, I thought it was only 3 parts. So, at about 45 minutes for the 3rd episode, I thought, I don't know how we wrap this up. Turns out it's 6 parts.
Yeah. Do you remember Chernobyl?
I do. I was born in 76. So.
The amazing thing is that you and I, we have those isotopes in our bodies right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome isn't really the word I would use, but yeah. But yeah, but anybody born after that wouldn't have those isotopes in their body.
I always say the next generation is weaker.
Well, they're a little less radiated anyway.
Bitch ass bloodstream with no isotopes.
What were we talking about?
Radioactivity.
Oh.
You gonna make her there, Hale, or what?
Oh, no, yeah.
No, yeah?
Oh, no. Yeah. Figure out where I am on this giant. Okay, right there. Let's see what else is there.
fun part about little robots is how much metal do you lay down with other colors? Like, how much of the model is going to get painted in metals versus other colors, right?
See, that's what I'm doing with my Necrons. My Necrons, just classic, all metal. But, what's the other robots? I remember what they're called.
That Ambot kit was one of my favorites.
Yeah. I picked these up a while ago because I was going to include them in my gang. But, I mean, shit, Ash and I haven't played in ages. So I figured I figured I better get these guys done because I'm sure we'll be playing soon enough.
Yeah, as soon as it's safe to go out or whatever, the powers that be have deemed it safe.
Yeah.
He's gonna go, hey Chris, remember when I told you to build that Necromunda game? I want to play right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh-oh. Oh. Uh-oh. I may have these drawn cards. Uh-oh, not good. Not good at all. Oh, no, it's his bottom arm. It's freaking out. I thought he used the wrong torso, because there's the Beastman Giant can be built as a 4-armed dude or a 2-armed dude, and I thought I accidentally used the 2-armed torso, and I wanted to build the 4-armed guy. There you go.
Flips. Hey, nice to see you. Chernobyl. Yes, what a disaster.
So,
Carl, just want to say hi. Thanks for the tutorials. Helped me out a lot. Like I'm a lost puppy, lol.
So, my 30K group has decided that now vaccines are starting to get out there. Not to play, but to get ready to play. So they're thinking about having a challenge of starting a new army for 30K and going to, like, I think it was 1,500 points by end of the year. So I'm thinking about what legion I want to paint if we do it. And I was thinking Death Guard.
The Death Guards?
Warriors. Yeah, Death Guard or Iron Warriors. I'm not sure which one.
Well, with 30K, I mean, like, you know, it's a lot of personal preference, and, you know, so I think, you know, who are you rooting for in the Horse Heresy, right?
Oh, well, I have my Loyalist Legion Blood Angels. Death Guard and Iron Warriors, but bad guys. So I'm just kind of like, I'm going more about, like, what would be more fun to paint.
Well, you went Blood Angels. That was mostly reds. So,
Yeah.
So go bad guys who are mostly blues, or I don't know.
Well, I was good. Night Lords are on there because my Blood Angels are fairly clean. So Death Guard was on there. I would still do a neat paint job, but then I'd come back in like leather and all that. So that was an option to make it somewhat different. They'll still be in like white armor though, so it's still kind of like a white and like a bright pale green, so it's still kind of like bright. But then I was thinking Iron Warriors, because that's like a cool steel kind of color they got, with a little bit of splash of the yellow with the hazard stripes. So
Yeah, and it'd be pretty straightforward to, bang out a bunch of them too. Because you can just hit them with like lead belcher spray. I don't know if you have an airbrush or not, but yeah.
I have an airbrush. I just like throw some like the Vallejo metal color or whatever, just like.
Yeah. Well, you can hammer those out really fast.
Yeah, so that's part of what I'm doing today. In between drawing, I'm kind of like looking at the Forge World catalog, like, oh, what special units could each other have? Because I know the Death Guard have like a bunch of special units, but the Iron Warriors in 30K can dip their toes into like the Admet or the Mechanicus stuff.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. They get some like big stompy robots. Well, yeah, they're big stompy robots.
Stompy.
Let me find a link. Oh, Forge World's making me do a captcha. What's a boat? And there's one picture of a boat and the rest of them are planes. I was talking with a friend who's like into computer sciences and stuff on why captchas are pictures and stuff. And apparently they're pictured, or they were made when captchas were like made or whatever. It's because at least back then bots couldn't pick up like differences in picture.
Right.
So if you put up a picture of a car and a boat and you go, which one's the boat? The bot would not know.
The real genius, I can't remember his name, he came up with, if you go back far enough, instead of the captures and pictures, they were pictures and words from books. It'd just be, text from an old yellow, book. What it was is it was the Library of Congress, the guy that they were scanning in on the books, and sometimes the AI couldn't figure out what word it was, so they translated those documents. If 10 out of 15 people agreed that the word was respect, then that was the word that went into the translation.
Oh, I got you.
So that guy converted. He got something like 6 million man hours of labor from us stooges.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's genius.
Here we go. Yeah, the Iron Circle Domitar Baron class battle. It's a big, mean looking robot.
The one force that I thought would be real fun for Horus Heresy was going Imperial Fists and doing the big crab claw carriers with a bunch of the shield duders. I can't remember what that was. I'm sure you know what the hell I'm talking about, but
yeah. What are you talking about? Because the Imperial Fist thing is they don't have special Terminators, but their Terminators can get shields.
that sounds pretty special.
Yeah, but they're just considered normal Terminator. Like, each Legion has like a special Terminator unit. But it does mean, since they're normal Terminators, you can get more of them for cheaper. If one wanted to do a very, very Terminator heavy force, they could do it with Imperial Fist. That's just a big, mean, stumpy looking robot.
I forgot to pull up my chat so I can see what everybody's saying.
He's about 2.5 Space Marines tall. Big robot. That's the one thing I've been enjoying about 30K. Granted, it's more expensive, so that, you know, more number crunching, more saving up, all that, but a lot of, like, narrative stuff.
Yeah, well,
in.
I always equate Horus Heresy, like the game and everything like that, to more like, you know, 40K historical kind of gaming, right?
Oh, yeah, that, but I was talking about, like, the special units. Like, they're all, like, little fluffy things, whereas, in 40K, unless you're, Archangels or Space Wolves, you don't really have, well, Blood Angels has, but if you're normal Space Marines, you know, your Ultramarines and your, you know, Raven Guard and Imperial Fist, they don't really have any special units aside from, you know, your character. So. You don't have a big Terminator dudes with the giant, you know.
Marcus Lee Studios. I'm picking up my Zone Mortalis from the Dark Uprising box set. Not an easy task. Huge set. Yeah, I'd imagine. I haven't even touched my Dark Uprising box set.
What's the spray I used for? I don't have the Zone Mortalis Necromunda, but I used I have a whole bunch of Necromunda terrain because I run the narrative campaigns at my local for Necromunda. I used the Tester's spray. The Tester's enamel spray, so it had to be a well ventilated room. Forget the actual name of the metallic color, but it is very close to the Lead Belcher spray. But it's like a quarter of the price. And I just came in, sprayed it all black in case I missed anything. And then I came in with the Tester's spray and just sprayed them all silver and called it a day.
Yeah, that's all it takes. When you're doing it for like a game club and stuff like that, I mean, like, you know, it doesn't have to be award-winning painting or anything.
Yeah. And I'll come in and touch up some like little thingies to give it some life.
Yeah. The only time where you really want to have it really nice is obviously for your own personal collection, but or if you're
display board, stuff like that.
Yeah, display board, or if you're filming it, you want nice, pretty terrain.
I'm on my own next 26. Goes down.
If you hear things rattling around, that's my dryer. Yeah, we'll cover that silver.
Anything going for pre-order this week? I don't think so. Nothing new this week. Why not that much to really talk about that? Actually. I guess this week is the week where they don't really have anything going up for pre-order.
No, I didn't see any pre-order.
No.
Really, it's kind of amazing when they do any pre-orders, like, right now, considering, how difficult it is to get everything shipped out. And
Yeah, I don't know how it is in, well, it's probably just back in Canada, because I think you guys go through the Tennessee warehouse. Back when there was that big snowstorm, apparently the whole warehouse was encased in ice.
yeah, I believe it.
So staffers couldn't get in to ship stuff. And it was like that for almost a whole week, so they're behind on deliveries in North America by like a week.
Doesn't surprise me.
I haven't really cared about any UW releases until that Cities of whatever.
The Cities of whatever.
That
The new
Yeah.
Quest. Yeah, that.
Curse City.
I know. I was teasing him.
For that.
Let's see what else. I guess if I had one, I want to roll back the conversation to Mandalorian. I guess if I had like one criticism, to me at least, Moff Gideon, it might change in season 2, I don't know. But as of right now, for the 2 to 3 episodes I got to see Moff Gideon, I find him rather annoying. Because when, Scott, you've seen Mandalorian, right? Alright, so I can talk about it. Spoiler warning for don't care anymore. When they're in the bar, and he's sitting out there for like what felt like it was probably more like a minute or two. It felt like 5 minutes of me sitting there watching the screen, listening to him wax lyrical about the web cannon. I'm sorry, the E-web, the T-blaster cannon. You're like, he was like wax. It felt like 5 minutes. It was probably only like an actual minute of screen time, but it felt like forever. Him just sitting there with all his stormtroopers, and they're building the little, tripod for it and all that. And he's just like talking on and on about it. And I was like, oh, get to the point already.
Yeah, but he's a stereotypical bad guy, right? So they, they monologue.
But I mean, if my only complaint is really the monologue, I don't know, I pretty enjoy it.
Well, the thing is that anybody who's like a Star Wars fan, is, pretty on board with that show.
Yeah.
I know I am.
Not to say that other Star Wars didn't have monologuing,
No.
but you're just sitting there because it's getting good because they shot up the bar, and then they stopped. He had to make his appearance, and he waxed lyrical while they're building the cannon. That was probably my favorite episode, though, or was the episode right after.
With
They get down in the sewers, they meet a certain someone, and they get on the boat.
I love the whole part with the speeder biker troops.
Oh yeah, where he's like, I want to see what's in the bag.
Yeah, I want to see what's in there.
He's like, The dude just showed up and shot 5 other dudes. You want to know what's in the bag?
Yeah. No, I thought that part was hilarious.
Yeah. Then IG shows up and like kung fu grips his fucking arm and twists it.
Yeah.
Hey, I told you to get out of here. Just like grabs his arm, twists it. That was like straight from like a Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee movie. Like the way he just like grabbed it and then did like the little like twisted his wrist, but ended up twisting that guy's like arm like all the way around. That was funny. That little. I thought was really cool was when the stormtroopers come down and they're like, you know, trying to interrogate the armor or whatever, and she's sitting there with her little hammer and with her forge tools.
Oh, and she's kicking everybody's ass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I immediately realized she was using Kali, or whatever, Filipino martial arts. I thought that was neat.
Well, sure, right?
I was like, oh, I know that. And then I looked it up, and the actor had to practice a little bit of Kali, like stick fighting for that scene.
Well, it's a good excuse to, you know, get into it, right?
Yeah. No, I just thought it was cool, because most of the time, you know, with the exception of the blind guy from Rogue One, I couldn't really think of a Star Wars scene where somebody actually used, like, an actual martial art.
Right.
So it was just kind of neat seeing that.
That's part of why The Force Awakens sucks so much. He's on the ship with Han Solo, and there's the 2 gangs. The one gang is the entire cast of the raid. So I thought I was going to see some awesome shit, and I didn't.
Yeah. That scene, I know what scene you're talking about. I remember that. I wanted more from that scene, but after The Last Jedi, where the Admiral's big plan was get everybody on the escape pods while you know the helmsmen of their ships keep going. You know, shoot the escape pods full of people down to the planet, knowing full well that, you know, there is technology on these ships that can detect life on escape pods. And then was surprised when the baddies used that technology to find life on the escape pods and then shoot at them.
Well, I think like a lot of folks, they're looking for, like, you know, consistency within the lore, especially when you're dealing with a series as long running as Star Wars, right? And so yeah, I mean, like, you know, because like the other one is like she commands the ship to go to light speed right through the big dreadnought ship and smokes it in one go, and it's like, well, why don't they do this all the time, kind of thing, right? And,
I mean, I could see why they don't, because it's expensive. They're, you know, rebels. They don't have a lot.
Why don't your missiles do that?
Oh, why don't your missiles? Oh.
yeah, why don't they have light speed missiles?
That, I don't know. I just thought it was weird because, you know, in episode 4, like the first 10 minutes, you know, the captain dude's like, Darth Vader, they ejected escape pods, but we detected no life signs on board. You know, that's a big thing, because that allowed, you know, R2-D2 and C-3PO with the plans to escape.
Or the Empire's really crap at their job.
Or the Empire's really crap at their job. That was an excuse. Darth Vader doesn't actually know we can't tell what's an escape pod.
Well, like at the end of Rogue One, he could have just as easily grabbed the ship and held it in place. And then have everybody board it again. Because he's supposed to be that strong, right? With the Force. That he could just stop a craft, you know, and like he could have did that, right? And you wouldn't even had episode 4. You'd have just had Darth Vader boarding her ship at that point. Shield Captain Gladius Starmex. Hello, Chris. I got my first airbrush. Cartridge type. Loving it. Cartridge type. Interesting. I've never used one of those. But yeah. I can't remember what the hell the company's called. But yeah. I know there's a company that does the like little load cartridges and slap them into your airbrush. Working on tonight. I have had for 5 years with it. Does anyone... What mini Chris is working on? Oh, is anybody... I'm working on an Amble. An Amble. Necromunda. Robots.
It pushes up nerd glasses. Oh, Chris, it's actually an Ambot. The Amble is the beetle alien.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Eddie Thor, greetings, everyone. Ooh, nice. I don't have to paint alone. It's 2:30 a.m. here, and I'm just starting a little paint session. If there's anything good about COVID, it's more spare time. Yeah, that's making lemonade. That's what I call making lemonade. Is that an Imperial Fist Dread? No, it is an Ambot. Excuse me. From a Necromunda.
It's a great kit. Everyone buy 2.
Buy 2, he says. Okay, well there you go. You have
But
Scott.
don't you get 2 in one box?
Yeah, you do get 2.
Yeah.
So 2 boxes is 4.
Don't need that
You
many.
can't argue with that math. The math checks out on that.
Yep. Then somebody gets a mispack and has like 1 extra or 1 less. And they're like, oh, the math didn't check out.
Somebody
There's
might.
no way you're getting extra in that box. It is packed.
Yeah, no, it's filled. So if anything, it'd be like they give you a duplicate sprue so you can't finish your robot.
I really like the. No, it's 2 identical sprues.
Oh, they're all
it's
on one
true.
sprue.
The ogre kit, I really like as well. The arm options are like shit if you were making a gang of it, but balls themselves.
Did you get the Necromunda ogres?
Yeah, I sure did.
Oh yeah.
I have to get some.
That's kind of a weird deal for them. Like, you get 6 in a box, or you get what 3 in a box, or 2 in a box.
I thought I was only ordering the box of 2. I just told the game store, like, hey, order me a box of those ogres. So I went in and said, yeah, I got those ogres. He's like, yeah, it's $100 or whatever it was. Christ, what's going on? I know I was a box of 6.
Yeah.
Because you can technically field a liber or forget what it's actually called, but it's like Burn Slave Uprising force in Necromunda with them.
I got the glass.
They give you a book of 6 or a box of 6, and that's like your gang. Or
I am curious about the this water cast, or not water cast, but this water clan thing too.
who is Water Clan friends with Escher, I think?
Something like that.
Truthfully, I locally hear word out on that thing like that. It's just spiraling into too much goofiness. I think we're gonna run Necromunda models with. We're gonna try that. It's called Grimdark Future monthly rules, which is a little more streamlined.
I'm fine. I'm liking Necromunda. I'm fine with it, but what I really want to try and play is Titanicus. I mean, Necromunda is still my favorite game GW does at the moment, but I want to try them at Titanicus. I want some big bumpy robots. The other game I've been having fun with is Aeronautica. That's pretty fun. pretty simple.
I like Aeronautica. Yeah, it's...
As far as a GW game goes, you can make it really cheap.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, cost entry is pretty darn low in that.
Yeah, especially for a... How much is the starter box? $90. So if you split that...
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah, so for $45, you can play. That's the cost of entry. $45. That's it. Yeah, because all the, like, fighter boxes with, like the Tau fighter box, how many are in here? 4? 3?
I think 4.
6. Whoa. How big are these?
They're... Well, I have a set. I can grab them, but... They're about... The fighters are... I'm trying to think of what's equivalent to them.
Okay.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, because all the Imperial stuff comes in 4. Oh, okay. The new Imperial Navy light fighters come in a box of 6, so they're probably the same size then. Oh, okay, I see. They are pretty small.
Yeah, they're not...
Yeah, but...
They're good size, but yeah, they are small.
Yeah, I meant small compared to, like, the Thunderbolt fighters and stuff. They're still pretty big, because the Thunderbolts are pretty chunky, too.
But the Tiger Sharks are pretty big.
Yeah, I think that's... Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, but for a single box, it's one of the few GW games you can play with a single box.
Yep. Yeah. Like, you have everything in the box that, to get into the game.
Mm-hmm. So...
No, it's not a terrible a deal.
If you had a friend who's playing, who has, the rule book already, you don't even need to buy a starter set, you just buy the planes you like.
Yep. Yep. I'm still waiting on Eldar getting done, but whatever.
Well, Aeronautica should be getting something soon. They do the specialist games in like a rotation. They get like a release, and then the next one gets a release.
I wouldn't be surprised if it if that box, if they do one, if they put Eldar out, they would do it with Space Marines as well. It'd be like a Space Marine Eldar box.
Yeah, I would think either Eldar and Space Marines or Eldar and Dark Eldar.
Yeah. Dark Eldar, well, I guess, yeah, you can include them, because they have plenty of aircraft.
The Raven and the Razor Wing. And...
Yeah. Well, they also have their old Forge World ones as well.
Yeah, the Vampire, and they've been doing Forge World planes. I mean, the Marauders, the Forge World plane.
Yeah.
I know my store wants to start a Blood Bowl league as soon as lockdown, quarantine, I don't know what to call it, is over. So he has a Blood Bowl, start a Blood Bowl league. GW game, a non-GW game I want to get into is Arena Rex.
Yeah, that one looked fun. I saw that one at Adepticon a few years back. It looked fun. I was considering picking up the Native American gladiator that they have. The one on horseback.
Yeah, she's in Zephyr, I think. Zephyr, yeah. Hiroka.
Yeah. It was a fun looking sculpt, and usually for me, I mean, I have to like the look of the models if I'm going to get into it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I like the look of a lot of those sculpts for that game, and it was not going to be a difficult sell to get me into that game if I was going to get into it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 30, 32, somewhere in there.
Yeah, actually, I'm not
They're
too sure.
Well,
I remember them being pretty big.
they're bigger than a Space Marine. They're like, I don't know, Primaris sized, I guess. So like 32. Malifaux sized model, if that makes sense.
The clamps. The
So looking
clamps.
at the faction that the model you liked is from, and I thought that faction was kind of interesting because it's like Native Americans and like Scandinavians, like in the same. Because you have your traditional, I guess, Viking berserker wearing almost nothing, with his bearded axes next to the lady riding the horse.
Yeah, well, I think the premise of the game is kind of crazy because it's
Well, it's like gladiator stuff, like and then turned up to like 11. Because you have like your traditional gladiator faction, then you have like Egyptians, and they have a giant scorpion. One of the characters rides giant scorpion.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're supposed to have fun with it, right? I mean, like, can't
Well,
take it too damn
like
literally.
It's a cool model. That's the model, the mounted model I like in that set is the giant scorpion. They came out with a new faction, I think, last Adepticon, where it's more traditional Greek, like or Greek, classical Greek, I guess you could say. And one of the guys has a trident and is riding a fish horse.
That sounds fun.
Oh, I can post the link in chat to it. Put it in Twitch chat. If anybody's in Twitch wants to. It's a pretty crazy model, but it looks fun to paint. Just like a fish, or a horse with fish features and chicken legs.
A horsefish?
Yeah, it's like a horse fish with like chicken legs or something.
All the way out of this game.
But in that same faction, you have like your traditional Greek wrestler. And
I'm sure he does great against a scorpion. Goes in for what, the single leg?
But I also liked, I played a demo of it. This game, you don't have points, and you can mix and match factions. You just won't get your faction bonus if you do that. It's just set model count. It's like 3 or 5 models, and the big models count as 2. So this is something very simple to at least prep for.
Marcus Lee Studio. Eldar needs some serious love? Yes, they do. Serious love, not joking love.
Oldest models on the web store. I think they have the oldest models.
Yeah.
And before somebody goes, actually, there's this one model everybody forgets about in this faction that was recently updated the rest of their line.
Well, I'm willing to bet some of the Eldar models are probably older than you.
Oh no, they are.
When were you born?
94.
Phoenix Lords are older than you, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
By at least 2 years, I think.
Yeah. nice. Would be nice.
I'm agreeing because I play Eldar. I have Eldar, and I haven't played them in a while because just haven't gotten anything new except for Jane Czar and the Banshees and wow, a hero and a unit.
Jane Czar and the Banshees. That sounds like a band. Jane Czar and the Banshees.
Well, when the new model came out, I changed all my social media stuff to Jane Czar fan club. I was all excited. It was
Sure.
like, oh, new Jane Czar. That's the I don't know. That's the Phoenix lore I found interesting.
She's one of my favorites just because she works so well. Like I was when 8th edition rolled around and the Elder Codex came out. Yeah, I was using Jane Czar a lot because I had a real kind of really greasy kind of list where it was a bunch of wraiths and then I had Jane Czar. And so basically she would charge in, stop the Overwatch, and then everybody else follows her in. I usually do that with my Autark and give him the Banshee mask, and then, everybody follows him in.
Yep. Your Autark and Banshee. Yeah, no, but when Blood of the Phoenix came out, and I bought it, or I split it with somebody, they took the Dark Eldar half, because even though I have Dark Eldar, I had no interest in, what's his name?
Drazar?
Drazar, yeah, I had no interest in him. So I was all excited, like, oh man, new Phoenix Lord. Jane Czar's got a new skull. Okay, so, when's the next one? And then here we are, almost 2 years later.
Has it been 2 years?
It's been like a year and a half. Phoenix, Rise of the Phoenix was the first of the Psychic Awakening. Oh no, it's been about a year. You're right. I'm dumb. Almost a year. It'll be a year in June.
I was gonna say you're freaking me out, man.
No, it won't be a year in June.
We've lost so much time to 2020, for God's sakes.
No, because Rise of the Phoenix came out when things were still open, so it was pre-COVID box. I gotta look this up now.
Either way, Elder need an update. And I would love to see some real changes to the army. Not changes like aesthetics, but I think we were talking about this the other day. Like the Hornets. I'd love to see them become plastic.
Don't you wish they had those goofy cow heads and shit like that all over them?
No, but I think it would be really cool if they kind of started giving us a little bit of Eldar Exodites, because Exodites haven't been a thing since Rogue Trader and 2nd edition, and it'd be kind of nice if they kind of slid some of that Age of Sigmar fun into some 40k.
Alright, so I looked it up. Rise of the Phoenix came out October 2019, so we're about a year and a half now.
Jeez.
I was all excited. I was like, that box that came out, I was like, they're going to update some Eldar models, and that's all we got. And here we are approaching, getting close to, we're about a year and a half now. Nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing. If you're an Eldar player. If you're a Space Marine player, this is a great time to be a Space Marine player.
Yeah, if you're a Space Marine player, you literally don't give a hoot.
Yeah. You don't give a hoot until there's nobody left to play other armies, and it's all Space Marine versus Space Marine games. And then everybody's like...
And at that point, you go, why don't I just play 30k?
Yeah, why don't I just play 30k at this point? You're right, exactly. what would be fun for 30K though is if Forge World, had some fun and sculpted up some of the weird little aliens that are described in some of the books.
Yeah, because they do have rules for Great Crusade stuff.
Yeah, and allow people to play some scenarios where you're fighting against whatever alien you were reading about in the last book.
Let me rephrase it. Okay, the community has made rules to play Eldar and stuff in 30K, but there are official GW lists for Space Marines that are Great Crusade lists. End quote. Because in 30K, like what you're playing determines like what your Force Org looks like.
Right.
And one of the options is Great Crusade, and they have that, but then it's like you're gonna play Great Crusade against what? More Space Marines?
Exactly right.
But that's not what they were fighting in the Great Crusade. The Great Crusade, they were fighting aliens.
But mind you, though, I mean the game is called Horus Heresy.
Yeah, no.
Right. So.
No, I get why they haven't touched aliens. They're just.
But it would be fun.
Mm-hmm. Which is something I hope they do when they finish, Battle of Terra and whatever book might come out after that. If they just stop right at Emperor's Dead, okay, Horus Heresy game is done. And, no more content updates or whatever. I'm curious because, the old world is coming out, and I think that's going to be Forge World's new Horus Heresy.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a Forge World project.
Fire Drake. How can you tell if you've huffed too much paint? Hoof. Dude. Jeez Louise.
Are you doing the huff the paint? Are you like... You're painting with like enamels or something?
I don't know. I think Fire Drake's being weird. Or he has been huffing too much paint. That is a possibility. I'm not putting it past him. And I will say, I do not condone this course of action.
The Codex of Stars does not support this action.
Was that you doing a deep manly voice?
Oh no, I was making fun of the video game.
Oh.
The Space Marine video game.
Oh. I was teasing.
Because Space Marine video game, that one character is always like, oh, but Captain, the Codex of Stars doesn't support doing this. Now I'm going to tell on you.
What I imagine like a lot of Ultramarines would be like that. And I mean, like, if you think about, like, what Space Marines are supposed to be like, right? They're supposed to be like a monk, like a battle monk. And so, if you couldn't have any fun and all you had to do was clean your weapons and armor and read from your special little book between missions, yeah, you'd probably adhere to it, especially if you couldn't go out and have a drink and, party it up.
That's why the Salamanders and Blood Angels are all better than are cooler than Ultramarines. I'm going to start a fight with somebody in chat will be like, I'm an Ultramarines player, yeah, you're all wrong. But, Salamanders are master artisans when it comes to, forging stuff. And, in Blood Angels' free time, they practice doing, art and stuff. And what do the Ultramarines do in their free time? Nobody knows. Everybody just assumes. I guess they go read their freaking book again.
Well, that's what I would assume because, Space Marines are described as, battle monks, right?
Yeah, because, what do Space Wolves do in their free time? Fight with, spar with each other or drink. There's established lore for what other, Space Marines do in their free time. Except for the Ultramarines. Nobody knows what they do in their free time. Do they go read the book again?
They might.
Do Ultramarines get in arguments over what subsection, paragraph, and sentence says something? Like, you know.
Flips.
Kinda like,
how much?
You know how
Kiss my English arsenal goodbye. What?
Is that enough of you?
Apparently. Edithor. 30k needs more attention again. They should bring the Calf box back as a regular 30k starter box. Yep. I hear a lot of people being interested in 30k but don't know how or where to start. Just start buying Space Marines.
Yeah, just go on Forge World's website, buy, or not even buy, just go on Forge World's website, look at the Horus Heresy tab, figure out what you think looks cool, and then buy the corresponding whole book.
Yeah, yep.
That's all you gotta do. And
Yeah.
I guess either find a group that plays near you, or start a group that plays near you.
Dave62702. Good evening, Monkey Lord and guests. How is my fellow monkeys? I don't know. How is everybody? I think everybody's okay. And then, of course, Evan Bello. Sup, bro? Sup? That's my brother, George. Or Evan, I should say, not George.
Are you sure that's your brother, Chris? I don't know, Chris. I don't know if I believe he's your brother.
I mean, it could be an imposter. I mean...
Is he red? Is red sus?
Is red sus, yeah. He's on the YouTube side of things, so... How to start 30k? First sell your kidney? Marcus Lee Studios? Yeah.
I would say that, but now like regular 40k is approaching that price tag. So.
Well, I mean, like, this whole hobby is pretty expensive, regardless.
Well, I mean, it was always expensive, but back when I started...
Back in your day?
Well, I'm not going to go as back as far as your day, okay, Chris?
What are you saying, I'm old balls?
Otherwise, I'd have to be pounding out my own money on the freaking Anvil. Yeah, I made an old joke that wasn't funny. But, back when I started, Forge World was like double, maybe triple the price of a box of Space Marines. Box of Space Marines is like $15-$20. The Forge World Space Marines were like $50, and you only got half as many.
Yeah.
But now, with the normal GW price inflation, boxes of Space Marines at 10 versus the ones that Forge World has at 10 is like the same. Give or take like $5-10.
Yep. It's where we're at, man. The important thing to bear in mind all the time, though, is you don't have to spend that money.
Nope.
You don't have to buy those brand new models.
Nope. You do not have to. You can read the books or play a video game. Get your 40k itch that way.
Get your itch.
Oh, speaking of which, there was a little news. Well, I guess it's old news, but there are going to be Warhammer Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah, I seen that. I don't play Magic, or I never played Magic, so I'm not that fired up about it.
No, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean they've done the card thing before.
Yeah. They had a card game Conquest.
There was
And they had,
Conquest.
like,
What was the
they
other
had
one?
like a Warhammer Fantasy version that
Yeah.
I don't want to say it was just like Conquest because it wasn't. Because it's more like building your castle and then like deploying your cards to like defend your castle from.
But Magic's its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Did
That I just thought was interesting because, you know, big company.
Do you do Magic, Scott?
Used to.
Yeah.
I worked at my first job was working at a game store in '93-ish. So that was around the time. I think it was beta. It was the last Blackboard set came out. It was well before anyone knew what was going on. So cards would come in. We didn't know what was, you know, rare, common, uncommon. We just trade the cards that we thought were cool. Looking back, there's very few things. I've had a lot of comics go through my hands where I'm like, whatever.
That's like me one. Okay, so I kept all my Pokemon cards that I got as a kid. Like, I'm a big freaking binder, and some of them are not super valuable, but valuable more than the, you know, paper it's printed on is worth or whatever. But when Yu-Gi-Oh became a thing when I was little, the same thing. Like, we had, like, you know, all the early cards are now super expensive, but everybody who had them when they opened them didn't keep them because everybody was trading with each other.
Yeah, I want to say this is going to be like, I think the third time that GW has done this card thing. Because I still have this box set. This was the starter.
They also had that one card game,
This
I
one.
forget what it's called, but it was similar to Apocalypse. That one, yes.
Yeah, Battle for Pandora Prime. Yeah.
I forget what the card game was called. You can still get those.
Can you?
Yeah.
I had a foil avatar. I don't know what the hell what the hell happened to it.
So you can get the. Okay, let me see.
I thought I had some foils in here, but yeah. Like, it wasn't a horrible game, but after every game we played, it was like, well, it was kind of like a pale comparison of the tabletop experience. And so I have all these models, so why don't I just play the tabletop? You know?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the card game's called.
I've never enjoyed when they tried to replicate their tabletop experience in another format.
Did you ever play this one, Scott?
No, I passed on all their card games.
Yeah, this I don't know if this was their first try at it, but no, I want to say this was like their second try at it, because there was another one, and then it kind of got like a reboot a few years ago, the combat card system.
Yeah, it's an app now.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
app game now.
Yeah, it used to be a thing way back in the day.
Oh no, they do have cards. Oh, okay, what is this? Warhammer Wrath and Glory. What is this? Campaign deck. Oh, these are cards for the RPG. Okay.
Now
But they have.
the one card game that I got into was Doom Trooper, based off Mutant Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun one.
That is a game I went in on for Warzone. What was it called? Retribution, the reboot of the miniatures game. And that's dead.
Yeah.
I was like,
Apparently there's another version coming out of Mutant Chronicles.
I know there was a Kickstarter for a digital version of the card game.
No, this is a miniature game. There's even new sculpts coming out. They don't look horrible.
This is news to me.
Yeah. I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
Here's an
Oh.
absolutely terrible
I
movie
forgot.
on Amazon. Mutant Chronicles.
There is Warhammer Champions. That's the AOS card game that's out. Which has apparently been doing pretty good. When we were at Adepticon, last Adepticon, to 2019. There was a lot of people playing Champion. Called Champion, right? That's what I said, right? Yeah, Warhammer Champions. There's a lot of people playing. They had like.
I was gonna say, are you asking me or telling me?
No, I'm telling you. Like, they had CW had the Warhammer Champions like booth like across like I want to say like 2 things down from them. They had like six large like fold out tables that could seat like 8 people at them. They were all full like the whole convention.
Oh really?
Yeah, crazy.
I miss conventions.
Don't we all?
I don't know. Well, some have never done it, so you know. For somebody like that, I imagine. Well, it's no biggie, right? For the rest of us, it's like fuck. I want to get back out there and hang out with peeps and have some fun again.
Yeah. That's why I'm hoping. Adepticon figures itself out and does 2022. I mean, they said they're doing 2022, but who knows? I've heard good and bad things, so we'll see. I'm trying to find the name of that old card game. Because there were other packs. There was one where it was like Steel Legion of Armageddon. Had a little Steel Legion dude on the deck. Box.
I don't dig how you can't reserve the hotel for Adepticon.
Yep.
Might have to find some stooge who will say I'm a volunteer for their company and get a room there.
Usually I get a room over at the hotel that's across the way. It's like just a stone throw away from the convention.
It's like literally across the parking lot.
Yeah.
Don't want to do it.
What the fuck? Hyatt? Regency Hyatt, I think, is what it is.
Maybe.
That's usually the hotel I go to. I've gone to Adepticon for the last, 5 years. Always a good time.
Oh, I found a Tyranid one. It's just called Warhammer 40k, a collectible card game.
40K?
40k.
I was going to say, what the hell game is that? Warhammer 40k. Sounds a little close to fornication.
That's what I was about to say.
Warhammer fornication. I was like, what the fuck?
I'll let you say it.
I don't know if I want to play that one. Might get me in trouble. Move some of these windows around. There we go.
Are you using that in your army, Chris?
The Ambot? Or Ambot, I should say. Fuck. Yes, I'm planning to. I remember thinking that I was going to be able to include one of these guys, but I wanted to get them both done anyway. Just so that, whatever, right? Because I was thinking of doing this one here, because I have this one ready to go in a kind of, teal blue. And I was thinking that it would be kind of fun to do him like he was one of the Corpse Grinders loaders. So he'll kind of have blood and guts on him and, the beginnings of turning to chaos kind of thing. And so I was thinking about doing him as, the Corpse Grinders backup.
Yeah, I found the Eldar deck for $14.
I do.
Let's all play the old collectible card game. I'm thinking.
Good God. I'm just looking at what I want to do metal.
I'll buy buy a deck, even if I never play it. Ooh, there's an orc one. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. It's got the old art on it. I'll never use it. I might never play, but I can say I have one. 30 years from now, I'll be able to. I have one of those.
True.
That's the right way to think. That's the right way to think.
Well, as a collector, sure, right?
Just don't let these other fucks hold you back. You buy everything you can.
Buy everything, go into debt, lose your, take a second mortgage out.
I don't know if I go that far, but but you do you. You do you. Here I am, taking Abaddon Black, mixing it into Lead Belcher, when I probably could have just grabbed Scale 75's Black Metal.
Are you using any of the Vallejo acrylic metal color airbrush colors?
The Vallejo?
Yeah.
No.
Those are the ones that come in the cat bottles with the black cap, like black flip up one. Yeah, yeah, I like those.
The alcohol-based ones?
Nope, they're water.
Oh, are they? No.
32 mils. Oh, dude, they're awesome. They're awesome. I like them probably more than the Scale 75 or the.
I like aluminum. Aluminum's my favorite.
Aluminum?
The Vallejo Model Air Metallics. Like they're good too. I think chrome's a must-have, but I like these bigger bottles.
Aluminum?
Chef's kiss, bro.
I still have to get
some.
I still have to get some Molotov chrome.
That's not a word. What are you saying, man?
Freaking chrome pen that Chris has.
Molotov.
Molotov, yeah.
Or, well, maybe it's Molotov, but either way, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That stuff gets you probably the best chrome, but for miniature painting, I caution because it's got long drying times and it just can be kind of a pain to work with. But
I'm not worried about drying time.
Yeah, it needs at least 24 hours to dry.
Sometimes I'll paint a dude's foot, go, okay, I'm done for the day, put up the model, and I might not touch it for months.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that the chrome does need to be sealed once it's fully cured, because it does dull. Like I did this guy's headpiece and sword, and new follower, thank you.
Sword. Yeah, no, I watched you do the sword.
Yeah, and that sword, I mean, like, that used to be like mirror, like if I put my finger up by it, you used to be able to see a perfect reflection of my finger, but now you don't, and that's because I didn't seal this. Where I know, well, because I'm still working on it, man. I wouldn't seal it yet. And
you put that chrome on like at least 2 years ago.
I know. That's what I'm saying, man. I know. Well, shit, man. I bought these Ambots like freaking. I don't even know when the hell I bought these guys. It's a while, anyway. Finally getting around to these freaking guys.
Well, you see, you painted Sigvald.
Okay, so what was who's following? Ms. Real Warhammer Rusty. Thank you for the follow. Lynn Dennis, what are we painting today? We are painting Ambots. I said it right that time. Ambots. For ambotting.
Alright, that's it. I'm saying it. Alright.
You're going to say it?
2022. We have the Way of the Rush game. If that happens. After that, I will have a few of these decks for the collectible card game, and we could play a bad card game afterward.
I wanted to go in 2020.
We're all ready to go, but...
Oh, Kermolis.
Well, no, I wanted the hotel room. I don't want to be walking across a parking lot.
Alan Smithy. Yeah. Have you ever gone to Adepticon before, Scott?
Nope.
It's a lot of fun.
See, the big brain thing is to get a hotel room with a buddy who's driving. So you don't have to worry about if your hotel is,
Mm-hmm.
down the street or whatever, because you have your own chauffeur.
True, but then you got to wait on that person whenever it, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's a pain.
If you're in the hotel, there's nothing better. Hey, I want to go rock the deuce. I'll just run upstairs.
Granted, I spent most of 2019, Decepticon 2019 drunk, so I Ubered everywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
Also
Because
bought
you never came to the game.
No, I came, but I came late.
Yeah.
Because I fell asleep in my hotel room eating Haagen-Dazs.
Yeah, I remember how you were stumbling about.
And then I had more alcohol, because Grim gave me more alcohol.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Scott. When we do the big game, Grim is the one who's our designated trafficker of alcohol.
Yes. Even though technically you're not supposed to do it, but nobody cares because everybody's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? Kick everybody out? But yeah, Adepticons is a good time. I like Adepticons. Now, mind you, I haven't done a lot of conventions, but Adepticon I've gone back to many times over the last 5 years.
I had fun.
The first time I went was by myself, and then a couple times went as part of a work thing for mini wargaming, and then last time was by myself, I do believe.
I thought your family came with you.
That was last time. Yeah, the last time was, I brought the family because we did the Chicago and shit, which I wouldn't do again. Either I take the family to Chicago, or I do Adepticon, because going to Chicago, being in the town all day, and then going to the convention, doing a class and stuff like that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
it was a huge pain, right in the rectum.
Anyone in your family, Chris, take to the hobby at all?
I'm sorry, what?
Anyone in your family take to the hobby? Do they paint?
My son likes playing. We used to play War Machine all the time, and he liked War Machine because it's strategy, and he's kind of got that brain for it, so he enjoys it.
What faction did he play?
He was Menoth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't Sigmund.
Yeah, it was Menoth. But I used to play Merc, which was a lot of fun. I lost all the time, but whatever.
So for those not familiar with War Machine, the only important thing is Khador, okay? And then forget about the rest.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there were so many fucking stupid ass builds with Khador. Fuck. Stupid.
Oh no. Have you seen the meme map where it's the map of the world of
Of memes?
No, it's the map of the world of War Machine, whatever the world's called. I forget what it's called. And it's just everything is crossed out, and Signar is South Khador. And, the island where Crix live is called Death Khador.
Oh, jeez, no.
Funny. I like it. But now with the Infernals, I don't know if they've changed it now. But last time, what really broke me from War Machine is when the Infernals came out, your faction no longer really mattered, because you could just take whatever you wanted.
Oh.
There was a list, you take this Warcaster, okay, these are the factions you can pull units from, and it's well, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Isn't that called forging a narrative or some shit? Aren't you 40k guys supposed to like that?
Yeah, but War Machine was a very tactical experience compared to 40k.
Granted, I picked Khador because I thought it looked cool, but it also fit my playstyle. But each faction had certain ways it played. So if you wanted to be, play this way.
That's the game where the terrain was 2-dimensional, right?
You could play with 2-dimensional, yeah.
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 Oof.
Everything had set height. So if you had a house, it could be 2D or it could be 3D, but it was all the same, height.
Well, what was nice about that game was that it clearly laid out how to resolve issues. So whenever you had a rules dispute, there is a procedure and how to resolve it. And so it only took a couple minutes if you ever ran into anything funny to resolve it, which was because what was really great about the rules, well, at least back in what was it, Mark II, I think was the previous edition. It's Mark III now, right?
Mark III.
And the rules were very concise. The wordings within the rule set was concise the entire way through, just about. More so than like 40K. And whereas like Games Workshop, they throw in maze and what's the other one they use? It's another word that you can misinterpret. Whereas War Machine had a very clear rule set.
Maze cans.
It's like written by lawyers.
Yeah.
And you know, it was really good. It was a very clear rule set. The game mechanics were straightforward. And yeah, you could play on 2D terrain. In fact, the model itself is only representative because whatever size base you were playing with, it had a certain volume, and that was clearly defined. So if you were behind something, and it either it obscured your volume or it didn't. If you were throwing something, it would fly past something if it wasn't a certain volume, and you know what I mean, like all these aspects. Like it was just very clear on how to do things. In comparison to, well, when I was playing War Machine, I think it was what, 4th edition, 5th edition 40K? And I mean, that 4th and 5th edition 40K was a fucking hot mess. And, you know, it was just so bloated. By the time 7th rolled around, 40K was just like, you know, you look like them kids from like way back in the day when they had to bring their books on a belt, you know what I mean, and lug it over their shoulder kind of thing. It was just, you just had so many books.
My favorite thing was, and I'm favorite being sarcastic with like, you know, 5th, 6th, 7th edition 40Ks, you had differently named special rules that all did the same thing.
Right.
And every faction changed the name of that rule. So it was just like,
yeah, exactly. There was no concise definitions for rules. Even though, like, you know, like for example, like a 5+ save against a wound was called tough in War Machine, but you know, like in 40K, that could be a will be back roll, that could be a feel no pain roll, that could be, you know, it would have many different names. Whereas in War Machine, even though the faction had this rule which represented something else because, you know, themes, but it was still just called tough. And that's what that rule did, you know.
No, you still lost me at 3D terrain.
I mean, you can play with 3D terrain. It's just that terrain piece is a set following you.
Yeah, like the terrain and the models themselves are only representative.
So a little outhouse might block an infantry model's sight, but its size won't block, like, you know, a big warjack's sight through it.
It used to be a clear rule set. I have no idea what it's like now.
It was going. Mark III suffered from a lot of players like dropping it.
Yeah.
But it didn't really start suffering until Infernals came out and factions became kind of pointless. Now you could like cherry pick stuff from other factions, and so you could have. I'm trying to think of like a weird combination, like I don't know. Kador with the Menoth Night Dudes. Forget what they're called. They're really big ones.
Gargantuans?
Oh no! The normal like Night Dudes, not the robots.
Oh, the like fucking precursors
Templars or something.
Yeah,
Precursors or something. Like you could have like them in your Kador list with some Signar, you know, riflemen. And there were some really weird combinations that kind of like, along with pre-measuring,
Oh, right, the pre-measuring thing, yeah.
When they came out with pre-measuring, there were games I had physically watched where somebody was like, okay, and then started laying out their proxy bases, because I don't know if they allow proxy bases anymore, but you could do proxy bases with your pre-measuring, and it was like watching like chess, where it's like, okay, I'm going to do this turn, and then he'd like pre-measure it, and he's like, okay, I just killed your caster, and the game's over.
Right. But I enjoyed War Machine. When I was into it, I was really having fun with it. And at the time, 40K was just annoying.
I enjoyed it. I think that's what really benefited War Machine for that short. Well, I don't know, for short.
Yeah.
It was like 3 editions where a lot of people were playing War Machine.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, definitely.
Mark, some cool War Machine models back in the day. There was some alligator voodoo guy.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I still have mine.
Yeah, it's a great miniature.
They have some really good miniatures, and I will probably continue to buy stuff for my kid, or I just don't know if I'll ever really play again.
One of my favorites from War Machine is Alexia Canor, whatever the hell. Her lore is she's a young girl who has like her dead mother in her sword, and she can raise the dead. She's a necromancer. It's just a really cool character, and
time.
What's that?
Tale as old as time. The old dead mom and the sword thing.
Oh yeah, the lady.
That old hat.
The horse. I had to look it up. I was like, oh, that's the horse lady.
Yeah. Well, I liked her on foot version because in my list I used to play Drake McBain, and basically on his feet turn, I would make a few of those guys invulnerable for that turn, because basically it was like an automatic tough roll for everybody in his command. And I used to put up one of his spells, which was the model or unit has like I think a 5-inch radius or a 3-inch radius that no spells or no shooting. There's no shooting attacks. And so basically her unit, because it could go up to about 20 people big, by the time I would get to my feet turn, I would cast it on her unit, and the entire table would be no shooting for a turn, and a few of these little skeletons would be set up as blocks, and so they wouldn't die, even though there were these little peons of skeletons.
Okay, you're talking about her character unit. Okay.
Yeah. I see.
She has quite a few models. She has her mounted one. She has the solo one where it's just her.
Yeah, on her horsey.
Hood and cape, and then her unit.
Yeah. Anyway, she was one of my faves. She was almost an always include in my lists.
She's a cool model.
Oh, it was a great model. I painted her up a long time ago.
I don't know what my favorite War Machine model was.
It's kind of hard, especially for me, because I mean, like, I am kind of critical on War Machine sculpts because, you know, the jacks, man, I just could not get into those fucking jacks. They just did not excite me in the slightest.
Okay, so I think
not that I need to be excited by models, but
my favorite caster to play with was probably Zerkova or God, what's the commander's guy name? But my favorite sculpt is probably Sorsha that came in the epic one where she's like standing on like the big ice stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Back when I did commissions, I did a couple Dire Troll Maulers.
Dire Trolls, yeah.
Some extreme. I enjoyed that.
The trolls were really fun. like the story for there's a troll unit for Mercs.
They have some fun-looking models.
Yeah.
And if War Machine was still a big thing, because it was a big thing where I lived for quite a number of years, if it was still a big thing, I think I would get Trolls, but it's not anymore.
Be the change you want to see in the world. Make it happen.
Well,
There's Scott with the fucking.
I would be the change, but as it stands, I don't.
The
really
motivational
like
quotes. That's
the current way War Machine plays.
Yeah, thank you, Scott, for that motivation.
A big chunk of the community also agrees that War Machine is in a good place right now.
No, it was a lot of fun. And
my new favorite game is Infinity.
Yeah, you like Infinity? I have not gotten into Infinity.
I've always kind of liked it, but there's one of the factions I play in Infinity. Corvus Belli has kind of like said, we're putting these guys on the back burner. We'll come back to them eventually, but for now, don't expect any new models for a bit. And I understand it, because Corvus Belli is a small company in Spain. So they only have a finite, they're not like GW, they don't have like warehouses across the globe. They have a warehouse in Spain, that's about it. Alright. So, just been, I don't know, for me at least, it's been, mountain peak to mountain peak, like, you know, things just keep getting better.
Well, the models are like the models for Infinity are very cool. I've never really gotten into Infinity, just because like the factions, at least when I was initially looking at Infinity, the factions all look the same to me. They all have that anime aesthetic, and everything kind of has similar silhouettes to everything.
I'm with you, Chris. I can't do the anime. I'm just.
Well, I mean, I like anime.
I like the robot.
I will agree that a good chunk of the factions, when you like take away their paint job and you just leave their silhouette, like there are models that like look like each other from different factions.
Yeah, you know, like it's just they all kind of have this similar vibe to them. And it's, like, you know, like you look at a Space Marine silhouette and a Tyranid silhouette, very, very distinct. You know, you're playing two different armies. But when you're talking about, you know, the Hawk Islam and, you know, the Arianadre or whatever the fuck it's called, they have a very similar aesthetic. Like their silhouettes, like everybody's got those pointy aerials coming out of them. Everybody's got the similar type of looking guns and.
So, they have kind of gotten away from that. Ariadne definitely looks like, compared to the rest of the line, looking all spacey. Ariadne kind of looks dated, but you know, modern, as in it looks like the stuff, you know, soldiers are running with right now.
Yeah, and when they had that wolf with the pack, I was considered picking up that box set. That the big wolf dude, and yeah.
Some of the big factions like Pan-Oceania and Eugene, aside from one being blue and one being orange, if you like take away the colors and just do a black like silhouette over them, yeah, the model's kind of like. So I'll agree there. I just like the rules. I like the model aesthetic. I like how models, like when you do something, your opponent can like react to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Well, the one thing that I think kind of hurts they're gaining a foothold in the market is that the models intimidate people, I think.
Yeah, because they are metal, and unlike some other metal models, the connection points are not chunky, and sometimes they are too small for a pin.
Yeah, they're very, very small.
I don't even think that's it.
And there's a lot going on these models.
Too much, my opinion, but it's also, I think, like Chris says, you look at the box art for GW has actually gotten. They've dumbed it down a lot over the years. I think that makes it more accessible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, slap some blue paint on there, get some contrast, do some edge
Oh, yeah.
highlighting, bam.
Well,
Yeah.
Versus what Corvus Belli is telling you to do, and I'm in favor of. Yeah, just here's some the nicest looking miniatures we can make.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
get to the highest standard.
Yeah, and like Buddy, who paints their models for their box arts, I mean, he does a phenomenal job painting them, but that intimidates a lot of people, and you have to make this stuff dumb for people to get into it. It's great that it has that leg room that, you know, experts can come in and make something really wonderful, but it intimidates everybody else.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Like, GW hit it right on the head, you know, doing the box art, you know, their regular type of GW prescribed type of painting style, right? It's base coat, shade wash, edge highlight, slap a decal on it, you're done, right? Not complex.
I agree. I dislike it, but it's definitely the model.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're looking at it purely as a marketing thing, you know, I mean, everybody wants to get really highbrow about the whole miniature art painting aspect of it, but no, it's about
a lot of people just put paint on models.
Right. Well, it's about getting asses in those seats, right? And
when you see a box art done to a level that even if it's not attainable for a beginner, you can look at it and see a picture of yourself doing that maybe eventually. Which I don't think you can see in a lot of Infinity if you're just starting at ground one.
Yeah.
Square one.
The only beginner like painting friendly thing I think Infinity's really done, with the exception of those books that they put out every once in a while, is they teamed up with Vallejo and they did like, you know how GW has in like every GW store near the front of the store there's those easy fit, like you get like 2 or 3 easy fit Space Marines or something in a box with paint, and on the back it has like what color went where.
Yep.
Infinity and Vallejo teamed up and did boxes like that where you get a model in the box, and on the back of in the paint for that model scheme, and on the back it has like a step by step. Like, I put this, you know, this was step 1. I put these colors on.
Yeah.
This is step 2. I put these colors on here. But that's the only thing I can think of, and you have to know those paint boxes exist because they aren't like openly advertised. So yeah, I'll agree. That was like Infinity, at least painting wise, is not or not painting wise, but it's advertised. You know what I mean? Box art advertised. Whatchamacallit? I don't know.
I prefer. I don't like the fact that people off the street feel the entitlement. Like, if I just pick this up today, I should be able to make it look pretty good. I don't think that's. I don't think that's fair.
Jeez.
You manage to convince people that it is. You do a decent job of that. I much preferred it back when the battle reports. There was this fantastic battle report. It was an Armageddon battle report. I think from around the 190s or 210s from White Dwarf, and it was a battle for Armageddon taking place over 4 separate tables.
Oh yeah.
And it was awesome. It was a studio put together, beautiful tables. One was like an orc rock in space with Terminators teleporting in.
Mm-hmm.
Big city fight in the middle. There was some, I think there was Speed Freaks versus White Scars on another table. But it was something you were never going to be able to put this together. Like, you just don't have the square footage available to you if you're some teenager, maybe, especially not. But it was inspiring. I love it. Now you'll see a battle report that's just stuff that you can go out and buy, and with a little bit of time and effort and energy, you can have it looking pretty similar.
Right.
Which is great for its own thing, but I like the old.
Yeah, there's not much DIY anymore.
Yeah. The only DIY I'm aware of that GW does, they don't do it on their battle report streams on Twitch or whatever, but when they showcased the new armies, like when they showcased Gloomspite Gitz, all them big mushrooms they used in those pictures for that Warhammer community article and the White Dwarf pictures, those were all made by staffers in the Army painting department.
Right.
But they don't really do that with like their battle report stuff anymore. The battle reports, like especially the ones on Twitch, are just kind of like they went and grabbed a terrain set off the shelf.
Yeah.
And they put it on the table.
Well, I mean, like, they're also treating that stuff like it's a goddamn commercial, right?
Yeah.
So, White Dwarf, nice glossy pictures to get you excited about playing Space Marines in a ruined city on this beautiful table and all this wonderful terrain, and you know what I mean? It all looks really great. And ideally, yeah, that's what we all should strive for, is playing, you know, great looking games, having good games, having fun games, and it looks great as well. Yeah.
But at least for their new Army showcases, they custom make stuff. So. But
Jesus Christ! I unplugged my headset. I was on a rant for a while there. I don't know when I.
Yeah, I know. I heard your mic or something just cut out or whatever, and I don't know when you were talking. Were you still talking?
Oh my God! I was spewing the truth.
Yeah, because like when they showcase new armies, that's the only time I really notice that, like, oh hey, that piece of terrain's actually custom. Like, that's not something you can buy from G. Like when you flip to the battle report page, all GW terrain. You watch their streams, all GW terrain.
Yeah, I fully expect that. I mean, it's.
Oh no, I do too.
You know, because they're selling shit, right? I mean, you know, they want to make a buck.
Right, but how about little things like that? Jesus, Necromunda, the corpse grinder thing, where at least it was made of other GW kits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That.
Although that was neat. That was all like.
That's kind of what I have in mind right now with mine. What the fuck is his name? Bedford?
Mark Bedford?
Yeah. His Chaos Fane that he made, that's pretty much what I want to do. And that's why I acquired all those little doodads and everything like that, and I want to get some corpses and stuff and make something really fucking gross and scary.
Speaking of the Armageddon White Dwarf, you know what I wish they would do? They would go back, so I think, was it the early 2000s when they did the Armageddon campaign, where you played games and the games you played actually determined what happened to Armageddon?
Yep.
Yeah, that was all complete horseshit.
Yeah, they've done that one a few times. Because there was Ikvar, there was Armageddon, and Eye Terror, I believe.
I can't recall any time. I don't think they've done that recently, and I wish they would like bring something like that back.
Nah, just don't worry, because as one of the guys who was a volunteer for Games Workshop at the time. It was the Outrider program, then it became the Grey Knight program. But I was in charge of reporting battles. We had another one for the Chaos Siege, the Summer of Chaos. You report the battles, and they just fucking, don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, of course.
That's another thing that I like with Infinity is when they do global campaigns, you determine where the lore goes, because the last campaign, the warp gates, I don't want to call them warp gates, I don't remember what they're called off the top of my head. The gates one faction used to exit their part of the galaxy and enter, the part of the galaxy where most of the factions are fighting, were destroyed. And the campaign before that, one of the sub-factions was completely erased from the game because I don't want to say completely erased because they were renamed, kind of rebranded, all that. But their planet blew up.
I wonder how well those models were selling before that faction was destroyed.
Not pretty good. They're part of the biggest selling faction, but the community got to decide what happened, and the planet blew up. The models weren't discontinued; they were just absorbed into another sub-faction.
No, they should have got rid of them. They should have made a big public spectacle of it.
Anymore.
Yeah, smash the molds.
They mail smelters to the people who own those models. Oh, you have to smelt these now.
Yeah.
It's a mandatory buyback program, like for guns.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine?
No, but
no, you can't have these models anymore. We're getting rid of them.
Like, the campaign just excited me a little bit because the community actually kind of forged the narrative, I guess. Like, we're going this way now because all of a sudden this faction won.
Well, I mean, community, programs are good. You know, gets people fired up for this stuff, and
Oh no, it was fun. People were really fired up. Like, factions were having war councils and electing who the war council leader was. And if you won your battles, you got to check what zones that battle was won in and stuff. It was fun. I participated in 2 of them, and it was kind of fun.
just kind of fun.
I don't do much wargaming anymore that isn't like a independent or an Osprey game or something like that. I'll tell you, it's kind of neat being completely freed of any. I don't know. I'm not beholden to the fluff of anyone else. I don't have to worry about Osprey blowing up the old world on me or anything like that.
Old man Logan, hey dude, what you up to? I'm painting. Working on an Ambot. Said it right again. Fuck, I'm on a roll. Fire Drake 18, can anyone send me a crate of glue? The guy at the drugstore said I reached my limit for the month. What? Well, quit huffing this stuff, man. Alan Smithy, I've been looking at some Infinity models to build a new Spire gang for Necromunda. Oh, that's not a horrible idea. Thing is, though,
It's not a horrible idea. I will give a fair warning. They will look fun. They will look funny size-wise next to GW models.
I was just about to say that because you get Space Marine Benum here, and then this guy, he's about an infinity scale. This is a true scale, and I mean the regular Necromunda. Well, I've got a regular Necromunda here. Hold on. Do I have an infinity model run? I think I do. Hold on.
Because infinity models are very kind of slender, unless you get a big robot dude. But most of the generic dudes are very slender, and it's.
I'm the dude playing the dude.
Because I have a couple infinity 40K converted models, and I like them, and they're neat. But when I put them down next to my other Space Marines and Imperial Guardsmen, they look funny.
So yeah. All right. So a little comparison for some of you out there who don't know. Forgive these models; they're a little dusty, but so hey, did I not? Yeah, I glued him to his base, but he's moving. He's moving on me. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so Goliath and Escher, right? Pretty big size in comparison to, say, a Space Marine. Pretty darn big, right? Comparison size. But you get an Infinity model, and I'm mostly 100%, but there's only a 10% chance of that, but same size, right? Here, let's see if I can get these bases angled right. You can see, the Escher is a good deal taller. Don't ask me what this dude is. I have no idea what this dude is. Pretty sure it's an Infinity model.
That's an Infinity model.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the bigger guys.
Oh, he's a bigger dude? Oh.
Well, no, he's got more armor on him. That's what I mean.
Right. Yeah, and so like you can see these both are on like a 25 mil base, and I mean, she's a good deal taller than him. She's almost a head taller.
I mean, if you don't, it's just more like I'm not saying don't do it. It's just more like a warning. Like if you're worried, if you're like one of the people in the hobby that like is worried about like scales matching.
Yeah.
That is a thing. It's just more like a.
Like, look how big a Space Marine is compared to this dude. Dudes. Anyway. But yeah. Don't I have a Van Sar somewhere? I have a Van Sar model. Painted. Don't know where the hell he went. He left. Time we at here? Is it really that time? No.
It's been 2 hours. Whoa.
Has it? Damn.
How much painting did you get done?
I've been base coating the metal, trying to do it fairly carefully without, ham-fisting it on, and it's mostly clean. I was just beginning the shade wash phase. I began throwing some non-oil gloss onto the metal bits, making it all look nice and shiny, metally before because I'm gonna weather these guys pretty heavily. Well, not too heavily, but pretty heavily. But yeah. Fire Jerkatine later, Chris. I have to go and get my hands on some hobby supplies, for hobbying stuff. Don't judge me. Alan Smithy, to be honest, for most Necromunda scale stuff, that sounds fine to me. Yeah, sure. I mean, like, if you don't care about it, I mean, if you don't care, your gaming group doesn't care, nobody's giving you crap about it, who cares, right? They're your models. You spend them. You spend your money however you want, and by all means, all I'm saying, I'm a bit of a stickler for scale, so yeah, that kind of crap kind of bugs me. Like, even like new Eldar stuff in comparison to the old Eldar stuff, I want all new Eldar stuff because like this dude is gigantic compared to previous Eldar. Do I have an old Eldar model around?
I've spent the last hour looking for this piece on my sprue, and I feel like I clipped it and set it on my desk, and I'm gonna look down, like behind a keyboard or something, it's gonna be right there.
I don't have an old Eldar model.
No, that Chris, the Eldar scale didn't change. They were shaving off pieces of Wraith stone and putting it in the new Eldar, so they grow them a little bit bigger now. It's not the scale; it's the fluff.
I did clip it. I found the number on my thing. I don't know where the piece is at. Uh-oh.
Hale, who are you talking to?
You. Everybody.
Somebody? Anybody? Anyone? Please help me.
Anybody who's been in this situation where they've clipped them something off the sprue and forgot where it went.
Oh, when it goes flying into your carpet?
Or it disappears in an abyss of a death.
Like, here, I disappeared for a sec, but because I wanted to go grab a model. Because I'm still on this scale stuff, because, scale bugs me. But here's an old Farseer. This is an old paint job of mine. Late 90s, I believe. And because I still have the old flock, the old GW flock on there. But anyway, in comparison to, say, the new Spirit Seer, okay? Like, look the size difference in these guys. And never mind that his foot is up on a piece of whatever's. He's more than a head taller than the dude.
Right, but... Okay.
Let's look at a Harley Quinn. Now, Harley Quinn is jumping off stuff, but good deal. Bigger. Oh, Scott disappeared. We lost Scott. No, he's back. He came back. And then
my mic was out.
Then here's like the new Eldrad, and the old Farseer. I mean, he makes the old Farseer just look puny. I don't have an old Eldrad, actually.
I never liked his old model.
I liked his model. I never had him because I used to be a bit of a purist for Samhan. So nothing touched the table when I played.
I'm Wolfway, so...
So I show up with a shit ton of Guardians.
And Eldrad.
And Eldrad. Bunch of Black Guardians. Because I'm a bit of a purist, you know. Because if you're not playing to the fluff, you're not really playing.
Excuse me, your Sam Han list doesn't have enough jet bikes.
Yeah, pretty much. Alan Smithy. I prefer the goofy old models. They have so much more so much character. Yeah, they do. I think also what adds to that character as well in the old sculpts is that they were hand sculpted. Yeah, they were hand sculpted, and
New stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like you can see the artist's hand in the model. Versus now, not saying that the digital sculpting is bad.
No.
But it is a little bit cut and paste. Like once they sculpt the skull, all they do is they just copy and paste that all over the model. Once they have a Space Marine body, they, repose it, copy and paste, add some skulls, you know what I mean? And it takes a little bit out of it. But it does maintain consistency,
Like with the newer Chaos Obliterators, you can see reused assets from other models in it.
Can you?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
I mean, I'm not complaining. The Obliterator models still look cool as heck.
I think you're complaining.
No, I was just pointing out that it is, kind of a little cut and paste.
That sounds like a complaint to me.
I guess. I don't know. Can a complaint also not be a complaint because you feel indifferent about it?
I don't know. Yes. Until proven wrong, I'll say yes.
I'm gonna write Johns Hopkins. We need a medical study on this. Looking for replacement brushes. Any suggestions? I've only had people. Well, where do you live? That kind of plays a part into it.
Oh, species, yeah. Looking for replacement brushes. Any suggestions? I've only had cheapos in the last year.
Like, you don't have to get a specific country or state or whatever. Just like a region, and that would at least affect my recommendation because I'm going to recommend based on availability where you may live.
True.
I don't want to recommend a brand of brushes and be like, well, I can't buy that.
Yeah, I'm in Europe. They don't sell that crap here. But
I could play it safe and just say buy brushes.
Well, honestly, there's very little wrong with buying GW brushes. I mean, they're widely available. They, most of the time, the brushes are in good order when you buy them at the store.
Canada.
You're in Canada? Oh, Winnipeg.
What's it?
Now, if resources is a concern, then I would recommend you head to your local art supply place, and whether it be, I really wouldn't recommend a Michael's, but any art supply place, any kind of mom and pop art supply place, look in the watercolor section of brushes and see if you can find any natural haired bristle brushes, like paint brushes, in the watercolor section, and look for number 1s, 0s, and maybe a 00 or 000. Failing that, nothing wrong with buying Citadel brushes. Citadel brushes are fine. Especially if, you're relatively new to this hobby or less experienced, you are not really going to be able to discern the difference between synthetics and sable hairs, anything like that. You only get into that kind of nonsense when you start glazing and some of the more of the nuanced type of painting. But otherwise, yeah. Again, if money is a concern, head to a local art supply place and peruse their brush selection. Look at the watercolor brushes and find yourself a number 1, number 0, and even possibly a 00. If
Rosemary and Company are cheap sables if you want to go that route. They'll ship to Winnipeg, no problem.
Yeah, if you're shopping online, another affordable brush is Rubelov's. Out of Russia, they're sables, and they're very fine. And I've used them a little bit, but so far they've worked really, really well.
So I have 4 suggestions. Okay, so
Hail with
2 of them have already been said. Rubelov, Rosemary. There's Handover or Hanover. I can't remember. They're another UK company.
Handover?
And then for North American companies, brush set I've been using for a while is Monument Hobbies Igniter set. They are the red-handled ones, and I like them specifically because I like my brushes really long, and they're really long. Like, not the bristle part, the actual like wooden part. So if you like longer, I guess, handled brushes,
yeah.
What
I would
advantage
recommend it.
does that have?
I just like them more. I find them more comfortable.
Hale's got great big long fingers.
No, actually, I have very small hands.
You were supposed to run with that, man. His hands
Sorry,
look like
I'm not gonna lie on the
his hands look like the face huggers from Aliens.
Is there any actual advantage? No idea. I just find longer handled brushes to be more comfortable for holding long periods of time.
Yeah. It's
But they run about $10 a brush. So.
Well, I think money's not a concern. Okay, yeah. Then, I mean, personally, if money's not a concern, then I'd recommend these Artist Opus brushes right here. You can see this brush here is like well used, and actually this one here is because I've kind of missed a few appointments of cleaning it. It's actually starting to kind of fray at the end for me. But this is a trusty number 1. I use this for eyeballs. I don't even use the zeros or anything like that. And these guys, they have a full paint set of like 4 or 5 brushes. Plus, I think they offer like dry brushing brushes. But these brushes, I really like. These Artist Opus. They're really good. Citadels are fine. Rubelovs and Winsor Newtons. I hardly ever use my Winsor Newtons, though. But Winsor Newtons are really great.
Yeah, your brush choice will ultimately, after using multiple brushes, it'll just be like the brush you like for some reason.
Exactly, yeah. And again, when we're talking brushes, paints, any other tools, it's entirely subjective. It is entirely what you like and your workflow and, availability. I mean, there's so many different factors at play.
I will say, if you do go sable, don't forget brush soaps and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And when you're talking brush soaps, I always like Masters brush cleaner. This stuff's good. It's a solid, but there are other brands out there. I mean, you were mentioned Monument, and I'm pretty sure Monument does a brush soap as well.
They do. I've never used it. So.
I haven't even used their brushes. I like Jason's Pro Acryl paints, and I like their clear colors, and I like that they offer them now in bigger portions.
Like, I used to use Handover and Rosemary because they were cheaper, and they were sable brushes, and they were nice. But I can't find them in as long of handles as the red-handled ones that he has.
So fucking weird.
I don't know. sometimes I hold the brush up like he is. Sometimes, you know, if I'm painting a tank, I don't really care, and I hold it at the back, and I just don't care.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm usually holding it about at about the thickest point of the brush, but sometimes I am further back here. Well, shit, look at where the gunk is built. I mean, that's where my hand usually is on a paintbrush. So I'm usually about this far away when I'm painting. But also, I paint canvas, and when I'm working with my canvases and painting like that, that's how I work, this far back or even further with a paintbrush, painting further away.
That might be why I like the long handle brush, because like all my art classes, like all the way up until high school, there was canvas and painting involved. So that might be why.
Yeah, you just get used to it, working in this fashion. Same with when you're holding like Conte or charcoal, you're drawing with those. Like if this was a piece of Conte or charcoal, always hold it like this with the fingers. And when you draw, you don't draw with your wrist, you draw from your shoulder. And, you know.
Yep.
Painting the same way too. You don't draw with your wrist, or paint with your wrist, you paint with your shoulder.
Yeah, but I've had Scott is the first person to go, why do you like long-handled brushes? And I just don't have an answer. It's just like I picked one up, I tried it, I felt it more comfortable than the other ones, and it's like, oh, there I am.
Yeah.
Well, everyone knows you use Conte from the shoulder.
Well, yeah. Species. I wrote down and I'm starting snooping around. I'm not sure what I like tool-wise, but I love painting. Yeah, find whatever's in your area and start playing. And, you know, you probably, as you develop as a painter, will probably outgrow whatever paintbrushes you're currently using, and you'll switch to more nuanced. Now, when I was talking earlier about just heading to your local art supply place and picking up watercolor brushes, because when we are doing some more of the nuanced type of painting in miniatures, it is more akin to watercolor type of work. We're painting in glazes, very thinned out color, and it's pretty much like watercolor. Miniature painting is probably closer to watercolor than actual, you know, working with acrylics or even oils. It's got more in common with that than anything.
You don't necessarily even have to upgrade your paintbrushes.
No.
There are some painters out there who still go to the art store and they still buy those little plastic baggies of paintbrushes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's lots.
And they still do good stuff.
Yeah, I know lots of people, well, not lots, but I know a few artists who paint with those dollar store craft paints and make great looking miniatures. It ain't the paint. It ain't the paint. It's just the time you're willing to put in for this stuff. Alan Smithy, gotta head out, but glad to able to catch some of the stream, especially with the Necromunda love. Good night, everybody. Good night, Alan. Species, I'm a plumber, so I tend to smash paint. In time, I'll try to be more the watchmaker. Yeah, it is a bit of that. It's, you know, I mean, like, I'm supposed to, well, when I'm doing this kind of stuff, I'm supposed to be wearing my little visory do here, you know, so I can see what I'm doing, but I don't. I just peek over my glasses. I do like the old man kind of thing, you know, where I'm looking over my glasses kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of people use this. I probably should, but I don't. I also just kind of like, this is, because I'm nearsighted, so I don't really need my glasses when I'm painting. Like, so I either have my glasses down my nose and I like kind of like glance over, like, you know, the dad in, like, you know, classic movies, like the suburban dad with the picket fence, like reading his newspaper, but he's like looking over his glasses.
Yeah.
That's what I look like painting half the time.
Well, we are 20 minutes past the hour.
Overtime.
Yeah, we're in OT. I
We're in
mean,
overtime.
well, this is. I mean,
Is
this.
the game's still scoreless?
No, we got some work done. I got metal and shade wash on these things, and I was thinking I was going to mention this earlier. I think GW needs to break new ground and make a metallic contrast paint.
What are you talking about, Chris? They solved all the world's problems with contrast.
Yeah, sure. First of all, if they really wanted to solve the world's problem, they'd have made that fucking paint line gloss. Finish with a gloss. But don't get me fucking started on that shit. Because then I'll start bagging on G-dubs.
Your model doesn't have enough contrast.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Yeah, I don't know why I call it contrast when that's just going to confuse people. Yeah, I don't
Made
know.
a vague answer even more vague because now a paint line's been thrown into it.
Yeah, you know, like, no, I can already feel myself getting irritated. Okay, Species. Thanks, guys. Greatly appreciated the advice. Yeah, no problem, man. That's what this channel is all about. It's all about you guys. It's all about helping you guys, answering your questions, and help. Hopefully, it's inspiring, and hopefully, it's motivating, and hopefully, it's informative, and sometimes entertaining. Alrighty, duders. Any final words of wisdom? Hale?
I don't have nothing today.
All right.
It's International Women's Day.
It is International Women's Day. Yes, it is. So, go thank an international woman for her service to the internationals. Or wait, no. Are we supposed to hug? Are we supposed to hug our wives and sisters and mums?
I have no idea.
Was I supposed to get a card?
It wasn't explained to me. I don't know.
Was I supposed to get a card?
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I don't even know.
If they're gonna complain about the glass ceiling, they could at least clean it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what if you got a mirror above your bed?
I didn't say that.
Oh shit! Now Eldari's showing up, and I'm trying to wrap up the show here.
Just to hear Chris talking about hugging people.
Oh, because it's International Women's Day, and I said to thank an international woman. If you run into an
Chris,
international
what is an
woman,
international woman. I want to know. Is it like James Bond, International Man of Mystery?
I don't know.
I don't know if you
You
just
have
heard,
to
but
go-
my wife just called me annoying in the background. All things considered.
Yeah, well,
This
you're
is on the internet forever now.
yeah, well, you are married now, so
I am.
get used to
I
it.
am. True.
Yeah. Are you sitting on the couch right now?
No, on my
Oh.
computer chair,
Oh.
which is like a secondary couch, realistically.
Okay, well, I was gonna say because get used to it because you're gonna be sleeping there lots.
Good time to jump in
I
at the end of the
already-
stream, isn't it?
Yeah.
I already
Oh.
sleep on couches.
Yeah,
And
my
I'm not
couch
even
has a
married.
permanent imprint of me.
I bet it's just got like a perfect little if I were to sit on the couch I would never be comfortable. But as soon as Chris goes down, he's perfectly set.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's like, when you used to buy like G.I. Joes and the vacuum form plastic was like perfectly contoured to the back of the G.I. Joe? That's my couch.
Amazing.
That's my couch. Like 3 houses ago, but I slept there by choice because there was no wife, no girlfriend telling me, "Oh, you're sleeping on the couch today." I was like, "I'm lazy. I just finished watching a movie. I'm going to sleep right here."
Why get up when you don't have to?
I can't know when you do.
Marcus Lee Studios. A wise man once said you can either love a woman or understand a woman, but you can't do both. I can barely do one of those. I do one of them poorly.
First part, probably easy. Second part, I don't think I could ever do that.
It's like one of those traps in Saw, where you're pulling on it, but then you're lowering, and no, and then you try to bring it back, and no, it comes back up, and no, it's like a Saw trap.
Oh no.
Quick question though, Chris. After that wise man said that, did his wife make him sleep on the couch?
Probably.
I think definitely.
More than likely, I'm willing to bet.
Statistically speaking, yes.
Yeah, statistically speaking, he slept on the couch, and he got the stink eye for at least a week. Guaranteed. Right or wrong, he was wrong. Just get used to it. You're wrong all the time.
You have that Grogu in the background.
Huh? Oh, Grogu? Yeah.
I need to get a Grogu. At least one.
At least one?
At least one. Maybe two. If I'm feeling bold.
Work on the old lady. You'll make your own.
That's a funny turn of phrase. I'm going to say that to her, and the couch will be very comfortable tonight. Chris said that you should start working on a Grogu for me. A baby Yoda. Chris, if you could see her eyeballs.
Oh, I can feel it.
He says he can feel your stare.
I can feel the glare.
We're safe. We're safe by this thing called the internet. Eldari will face the wrath for everything we say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to bear the brunt of this.
Yeah. It's just too damn cute. I mean, you know.
It is. It is too damn cute.
I still want to pick up the one from Sideshow Collectibles. It's like $300, but it's 1-to-1 scale. It's beautiful.
I have bought something from Sideshow. I want to say, for inanimate objects that sit on a shelf, every time I look at it, unlike other stuff, I don't regret the purchase.
As you look at your, like, 4 armies behind you, and you're like...
I regret this purchase.
Yeah. I regret nothing.
I regret my Warhammer.
Yeah.
I'd be a millionaire by now if it wasn't for Warhammer.
I have a good excuse because I'm turned this into a job. So all my shit and all my toys, you know, I can write them off. Whereas you guys, I mean, especially like, you know, cats like Zach, you know, got to explain to your old lady.
Write it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, did you ever watch Schitt's Creek?
No, the wife's been watching it. I have not watched it, although I am a big Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hare fan. But yeah, I've not watched it.
Not to belabor a point, there's a scene in one of the episodes near the end where the character David says he's going to write his business expenses off, and his father's lecturing him that you can't just write anything off because you want to. And I feel like that's you right now. You're telling the government your toys were expenses for business. And
they
the government
are.
Goes, I guess.
They are. Like Grogu, he was an expense because I painted that his little totem. I painted that in the video. That was production use.
In the U.S., you can declare if your hobby is your business, like Chris is. So if he lived in the U.S., he could anything he spent on his hobby, like all that paint that he uses, he could write it off in his taxes.
Amazing. I mean, I don't know enough about taxes to actually weigh in.
So what you're
further, but I think you should see that
U.S.
scene.
taxes. I don't know if it's legal in Canada to do that.
So what I'm hearing is that I should open up an office in the States.
Yes.
I hear you.
An office you never visited, and it's staffed by this person with a strange fictitious name.
It's some guy in a ski mask and pushing a shopping cart.
Yeah. It goes by the name of John Smith.
Yeah.
He's never in the office. He's always sick.
Payable billing to cash only. Alrighty.
I had that talk with my accountant one time because I told her about my hobbies. It's like, well, if it's a business, you can write all that off. And I was like, oh.
All right, Chris. We won't keep you any longer. It's late.
It is late, and I missed brownie time, so I gotta hurry up and wolf down a brownie.
Get out of here.
I know. So, any parting words of wisdom, Zach?
Oh, for me, never. Never, ever.
I know, you've only been here a few minutes, but...
Here's my parting words of wisdom. Don't be like Chris and just brownie time.
That's, you know what? I think that's the best way to end the show.
There we
My
go.
2 cents. Don't miss brownie time.
Don't miss brownie time, right? Because now, I mean, I'm going to be up till God knows when. And, you know, I'll be waiting to peak, like, at some point. And, yeah. Hold on here. Let me move some of my shit around here. There we go. We'll put the mic up real nice and close like this.
Oh, ASMR, Chris.
Oh, it's
my favorite version.
It's ASMR.
Fold fingers. Oh, Reikland Reavers. That's the Blood Bowl finger.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I got all sorts of... See, I even got one of them little... Oh, where is he? Little duders from War Machine.
You could cash in on the ASMR fad going on YouTube right now and just do ASMR. What is that? Is that the little... That's the little slave things from Scorn?
Yeah, the agonizers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm one to judge Chris on his ASMR as I have my mic, like, directly in front of my mouth.
If I could put it right up to my throat and do, like, you know... Was it the guys with the voice boxes?
Oh, beatboxing?
No, not fucking beatboxing.
You know, ones that, like...
Come on, Chris, I'd love to see
like, some throat disease and they had to, like, get it taken out and, like, a speaker thing put in.
Yeah. The tracheotomy.
Wild idea. Swedish chef beatboxing.
Swedish chef beatboxing.
It's been a while since anyone's mentioned Swedish chef on your channel. I felt like it was appropriate.
That I probably hurt myself doing that. Swedish chef beatboxing.
I get DNC. They think
I
it's
mean,
from an
DNC.
audio clip from an actual episode.
Yeah, I'm trying to work it out in my head right now. When you said it, I was like, okay, what would that sound like? I'm gonna hurt
Here's
myself.
the play, Chris. You go have a couple of brownies. You think about it because you're not gonna sleep after you have 1 or 2 brownies filled with sugar.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Oh no! I only do 1 brownie. 1 brownie is enough to get me through the evening. I did 2 the other night because the old lady just made them. So when they're really warm, they're fucking great. And I had 2, and yeah, I was like tripping balls. So yeah, not that it was like bad or anything like that. It was just like I was doing like cartoon blinking like
brownies?
no.
Okay.
No, these are
made in Canada.
I was getting a little confused there.
Oh yeah, sorry, no. Yeah, no, these are weed brownies, man. Weed brownies.
We have fun in the north.
Yeah.
Like, there's this great powder you can buy from most
Cocaine.
dispensaries. Not cocaine.
Oh.
Can't buy that in Canada.
Meth.
Not legally.
Heroin.
Well,
F and chat.
We can have fun south of the border. It's just different kinds of fun.
Tijuana.
Like
Tijuana, that is south of the border. Absolutely. I've been watching a lot of Narcos lately.
That's a good show.
I'm on that vibe.
Yeah. Narcos is a good show.
We can do things like, shoot explosives and, chunks of lawnmower coming back.
Well, you're in what, Florida, right, Hale?
No.
No?
I'm not Florida. No.
He's not one of our Floridian friends. That's just grim.
Oh, no, you're in Carolina, right?
Geo.
No.
Virginia.
North. Oh, well, yeah, Virginia for another.
Oh, man, totally landed the free.
Well, I lived in Tennessee, and that was a lot of fun.
I was just making...
I didn't blow shit up or anything, but...
blow stuff up here, and people lose body parts, and then they're like, why'd you do that?
Okay.
Why did you blow up the lawnmower? Because I could.
Good story, Hale.
Then I lost my arm.
I finished a miniature start to finish during this whole thing.
Did you? I didn't
I
get
have I have not painted anything in 2 hours in forever.
So
Really?
Here is an update. In 2.5 hours.
Okay, you guys posting this shit, or are you going to send me an email?
Single arm. I want to give you an update.
I just put it in Discord.
The single arm I built for this job.
Hey, nice. I get this is the guy we get Doomslayer vibes from, or a similar.
Oh, okay, these guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, exactly. I turns out I was wrong. I read the rules, and I needed a lot more miniatures than I.
Where's the Monkey Playground?
No, completed minis.
Completed minis.
Oh, okay.
What are you painting on?
That is a wooden block and a hot glue gun.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Cool.
I that looked like the alien resin from Aliens.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up after a couple of years, but then I just pop it in the freezer and it snaps off easy.
I mean, it kind of fits the Doomslayer vibes, though.
Yeah, that looks cool. I like them. When I was talking about the other pieces that you had shown off that were like this, are you going to do like any kind of chevrons or icons, squad numbers, or anything like that?
No, I don't give a shit about these. These are purely for gaming and getting killed. They're
Oh, okay.
random grunts that spawn kind of video game style.
Gotcha.
Oh, cool.
It's a game called Horizon Wars Zero Dark. And this is the AI bad guys.
Okay.
It's a miniature agnostic game. These are from Heresy Miniatures.
Bad guys don't get chevrons. Everyone knows the rules.
Bad guys don't get chevrons.
Yeah,
And see, since this guy has a power fist looking thing, he's an elite, not a grunt.
Wait, hold on. Let's back up a page here. Why don't bad guys get chevrons?
Well, because there's only two bad guy ranks. Okay, there's main bad guy, and there's everybody else.
Chris,
Oh.
I painted him in 2 hours. His rank is determined that he gets a black hat instead of a red hat.
Nice. Gotcha.
That's how you know he's got that extra little bit of juice.
But if he goes up to big bad guy doesn't care what fictitious rank he has. He will still sit there and kill him for his incompetence.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Big bad guy has
I
a
mean-
black hat and a I'm in charge stick.
I mean, Star Wars kind of pointed it out. No matter what uniform the guy was wearing, Vader didn't care. He was like, "Oh, well, you kind of suck, so you're dead now."
Yeah, he just chokes the guy out. Yeah.
Yeah, the Vader style of leadership. Probably not best for your normal corporate office, but hey. I guess it got results. Not
Yeah.
the
Galactic
results you wanted.
Empire, when moving up the ranks, is a bad thing.
Alrighty, duders. I'm getting the hell out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. And
Have a good one, guys.
thank everybody for tuning in. And hopefully you were painting along. Maybe you were. I don't know. Or listening to us bullshit, I guess. I don't know. Scott jumped ship with the quickness.
With speed.
With the speed. Alrighty. I'm getting the hell out of here. We need some theme music. You guys, take us out with some theme music.
Well, not me. Not now. I'm gonna get you DLC.
Fucking beatboxing. Holy shit. Jesus.
I'm out of here before this gets any worse. Later, dude.
Later. Good God.